potential.
Meaning that if the clientele is all non-Jewish,
it makes it a lot easier. Yeah, you can't be open if you're having Jews with, that's a problem. All right, let's focus. Come on. So bottom line, so we're learning, what's the purpose of Midrash showing us about Shaul? What do we say? To show you that you have the window of even when you bury him. Okay, just you really want to stay for this. I'm not even joking. By the way, it's like, I'm not going to tell you later. I am not going to tell you later. That's not true. I'm going to tell you later. Oh, checkmate. Okay, let me start. Okay, so we're all clear-ish. You understand? The Midrash is, okay, what's the purpose of the Givanat Sanhedrin to explain about the Hespedim? Is when Bnei Israel are not making Teshuva, so it's going to push out the Puranut. Very nice. Good. Now I'm going to give you something crazy. Understanding this concept, okay, I'm going to add another Midrash, right, in our parasha, where it says, Bezot, with this, Yavo Aaron el HaKodesh. With this, Aaron will go to the Kodesh. Which means what the Midrash explains that if you have bundles of Averot, you have to counteract with it with bundles of mitzvot. Bundles of Averot, use bundles of mitzvot. Which means what? If I did bundles of mitzvot, of Averot with my eyes, then be makpid on tefillin. Why? Because you have to make sure your tefillin is in the middle of your eyes. If you did, and by the way, the Midrash goes in detail, maybe 7-8 examples to help you understand what to do. If you have a whole bunch of sins that you did with money, use your money for good. Everything. Now, understanding that, it says in Shar Gilgulim. Shar Gilgulim, okay, is really, really heavy. He explains, a person is created and born with a purpose. Okay? He's created with a purpose to fix something. Tam Shofar was created to fix something. You're here for a reason, not just for you to live your life. And not only that, you're here to either fix something in the world, some mitzvah, right? And until you do it, you consider it as if you're not. You understand? Crazy. The Arizal says that if you want to know what this item is, what do I got to do? You're here with a reason. By the way, Jonathan Pollard, you guys know who he is? Yeah. Jonathan Pollard. You can look this up for who wants to roll their eyes at me. You ready? What was his wife's last words? It's sick. It's crazy. Her final words were.
I met her a few times. Amazing. She didn't stop to free him.
Her last words were. You could Google this, okay? Her eyes were closed and said that in Shamayim, okay, they asked for a volunteer. They said that we have somebody that we need that's going to be in captivity and we need to bring him out.
I was the one that volunteered.
And we need to bring him out Jewish. And she said that bringing you out was the easy part. Bringing you out Jewish was the harder part. Wow. And I volunteered. Right. Wow. And by the way, verbatim. You can look it up online. Jonathan Pollard's wife's last words. Look it up. Very easy to find. Yeah, okay? And what does she say? And she says, now that I did it, I can go back. Wow. And she died.
Wow. Yeah,
okay? The Arizal says that everybody has a purpose in life. And you have a reason why you're here. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, she was
dropping out of school ain't the reason. Now he explains that how you want a hint of how to figure it out. The Yetzer Hara is going to work overtime on that one specific thing that irks you the most. That's your tikkun. Figure out. Take the easiest way to do it is really Esek Gadol. That's what I did, but I'm joking. Take the 3 things, Sasha. What's the 3 hardest things you have in your life? Think about what those are, and then, okay, you got the 3, right? Then from those 3, figure out what's even the hardest of the 3. Process of elimination. And that'll be it. And you'll prove it to yourself, because the Yetzer Hara will make it harder for you to do this than anything else. And that's your tikkun. This is the Arizal's advice to every Jew. To figure out what our tikkun is based on what? This is what it's based on. Okay? Now, based on that, the Midrash is telling you that it's not enough just to make teshuvah on your sins. Because just by fixing what I did from now forward just helps me for me. But you're not helping the world. You helped yourself, which is great, right? Adain lo ho'alta klum betikun ha'olam. You did nothing for the rectification of the world. Lachen, the right way to do it is with what you were pogem the world, go do mitzvot with. Okay? Bevadai ki bevadai ta'aseh ha'chova muteret alecha, because for sure you're going to do the chovah that you're brought here to do, you'll do it with what you messed up the world with.
So the real tshuva comes only when you take that which you messed up with, and then you do.
Use it and double down. Take it and say, no, I'm going to take whatever. I use my hands for bad things. I'm going to use it for good. I use money for bad. I'm going to make sure I use it for good. There's a guy, by the way, I know a guy of a guy, right? B'nei Barak. He used to be, let's call it a player for modern terms, Tommy. That's what I got to tell you. I don't know either. He likes sports.
Yeah, we wish. That's what it was.
He made teshuvah. He made teshuvah. He donates 80% of his paycheck every week to tzedakah. He wants to live in poverty. Why? Because he says everything that I did, I'm hayab mitah, and the only way to be hayab mitah, if you're an ani, if you're poor, it's the same thing as being dead. So he lives in some basement apartment. Okay, I ain't telling you to do that, and I ain't that guy either. Okay, but stop it, Tom. What's the matter with you? God forbid, he says good luck. Like, God forbid.
It's like that Uri Zohar guy, you know, like
Yes.
Uri Zohar, like he became a Talmud Chacham Masadik, and he was like a famous Israeli celebrity.
I'll take it. All right, we're finishing in 5 minutes.
He was
So
a
that,
true about Teshuva.
okay, who? That
Uri
is.
Zohar.
Why are you saying about the Shuvah?
Because he was a celebrity in the secular Israeli world, and he became
The Arizal?
No.
Uri Zohar.
Oh, Zohar, yeah. I'm like, I never heard this one.
Uri Zohar.
Yeah, of course, yes, yeah. He was a soccer, he was a ball player.
Yeah, no, he was
No, no,
an
no,
actor.
He was an actor, he was an actor, he was an actor.
They can-
Oh, so my guy was a ball player. The guy that was, all right, anyway, so that's what David HaMelech says in Tehillim. It says, Ashrei temimei darech halchim b'torat Adonai. What does that mean? Ashrei is fortunate. Okay, fortunate. Temimeh, what's temimeh? It's temimut. Halchim b'torat. These are the tzaddikim gemurim. But in the same mizmor, he writes, Ashrechem, no, I'm sorry, Ashrei notzrei edotav, right? Bechol notzrei edotav, bechol lev, I forgot the pasuk, hold on. Very important. In the same breath, he's writing something that talks about the tzaddikim gemurim that never make a sin, and also the baalei teshuvah. It's crazy. It's crazy. No, it really is crazy. It's the first of, we call it Alfei Beta. Tomorrow's Tehillim. Oh, yeah? It's today's Tehillim. It's already night. Look, it says, Ashrei, so the first pasuk tells you what? Alfei Beta. I love Alfei Beta. It says, Ashrei temi darech hochim b'torat Adonai. Right? Praiseworthy are those perfect that walk in the way of God from the minute they're born till the end of days. Okay? The guy who grew up in a wholesome home, he followed his father's footsteps. Ashrei Adam, beauty, gorgeous. What's the next pasuk? The next, Ashrei nosrei edotav. Praiseworthy are the ones that guard his edut, his testimonies. Bechol le, bless you, bechol rev, with full heart, yidreshu, they seek him. Who is that? What is that pasuk talking about? The Baal Teshuvah. Yeah. Amazing. Why? Why? Break it down. Look what it says. It says the tzaddikim gemurim, very easy, very easy. They had the right. The foundation. They went to the right schools. They had the right family. Great. That guy's great. No problem. Okay. What about the second pasuk is talking about the baalei teshuvah? Why? Because he's the one that guards the testimonies more than the tzaddik. Because he's so sensitive. He's so sensitive to what, God forbid, could be. He doesn't even want to know from it. It says in, I think, Hazon of Yakut Yosef, it's literally a poem talking about the baalei teshuvah. Hacham Vadia Yosef. He talks that the people that the baalei teshuvah are very sensitive. I can't look at women. Like don't even look at me. It's your sister. Look at me. Why? Because he's so sensitive. Because he knows what looking at a woman could do. And he doesn't want to ruin his relationship with Hashem, so he cuts ties with everything he can.
Also, you experience a big awe at that time. Like,
Yeah.
I know that for myself.
For sure you do. So look what it says. So we're going to finish over here. Boys, not even 2 minutes. Ish. Syrian time. What do they do, these Baalei Teshuvah, to mitaken themselves? Right? Af lo pa'alu ava. Right? They don't do any sins, which means what? They get rid of the sin. That's the easy part. Right? And whatever they sinned with, they go back and they do mitzvot with the same thing. Like we said, a guy was a gambler. He uses all his money for good. Anything that the guy does that he did bad with, he would do the same item and use it for good. That's about Teshuvah. And what does that show? It shows so all the things that Hashem sent in this world in order to them to fix the and what do? They do it with the things that they messed up with first. The thing everybody comes with a mission. So the ones that wobble to complete their mission, when they realize the right way, what do? They double down and they become fire. They become fire. They become stronger than the Tzadikim Gemurim. Tzadikim Gemurim, yes, they have the guards are up, no doubt about it. But they don't know how bad it can get. Only the Baalei Teshuvah knows. So he's extra careful. He's extra careful. And this is the reason why the mitatam and the hespedim of the tzaddikim is mechaper. Lefi she'adod, the dod that sinned, right? Why did they sin? Could they? Because they did not listen to the tzaddik when he was alive. He's always telling them, don't do this, don't do that, right? And they didn't listen. And when they gave a pegam on his kavod. What's pegam mean in English?
Blemish.
A blemish on the Sadiq's kavod. And now, with the same kavod, they're giving him kavod by giving the hespedim. You understand? Why did the Sadiq die? Because of the sins of the generation. This is unbelievable. Why did the Sadiq die? Because of the sins of the generation. Why did this generation have sins? Because they did not listen to the Sadiq in the first place. Yeah. When they don't listen to the Sadiq in the first place, they are, what, pagam? Blemishing this man's kavod. And so when they make a hesped, they are metakening the fact that they put a blemish on his kavod by giving him kavod. Just like David HaMelech writes, right? Ashrei nosei edotav bechol lev yidreshu. That whatever they would program, they made it better. You understand? They use exactly what they did. They're not afraid. They're not embarrassed. They're using the same item. I embarrassed the Hakam by not listening to him. At the same time, I'm gonna put more focus on the Hakam, and that's what I'm gonna do. And that's exactly why. What does it do? That it pushes out the puranut, even if they don't make teshuvah. Even if they don't make teshuvah. And that's why when you make the hesped of the Gemara Sanhedrin, it's saying when you make a hesped on the Sadiq, it's talking about when the generation doesn't make teshuvah. But what it does do, it is metaken the pagan that they did by not listening to the Hakam in the first place. So because of that, they get it pushed out. Wow. It's crazy. Come on, it's sick. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
So either way, before you can marry
It's crazy. It's crazy. Huh?
So before you get married, before you're married.
I'm sorry, I need to stop you for 1 second. I apologize, don't lose that thought. It's so profound, so profound. So when you learn something that you don't understand, it just means you need to review it again and again until you do. Because this is so sweet and so amazing and so profound. The thing that we learned on the other page doesn't mean that it's wrong. It means that I don't get it yet and I just need to review it. Continue, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So
right?
Either way, it turns out that you cannot merit the forgiveness due to the tzaddik's death.
Not merit.
Until you don't deserve. You don't get it.
You don't deserve the
until
forgiveness.
you actually do tshuva by realizing and
yes, agreed.
And giving him kavod.
No, two separate. If I don't make teshuvah, but yet I still give him kavod, I'm pushing out the puranut. That's coming.
Yeah.
Why would it be pushed? I didn't make teshuvah. Yeah. But because I started to make Teshuvah by giving kavod to the one that I started doing a tikkun because I messed it up first, and instead of messing it up, I actually made it better.
Can I add in one?
Yes, say it.
Can I add on one more? The idea that Ashkacha Pratis, that we're like in Sefirah Sa'om learning this, Achreimos, Kedoshim.
Sure.
The fact that Hashem is giving us chizuk, that if we tune into the Ashkacha Pratis, divine providence, then every generation is exactly the Chochem, now exactly the time of Chochem, the Tzaddik, the person who's giving us the answers at that time of who we need. And if we are able to be humble enough to listen to Hashem through the person of that generation, even if as small as he is compared to the previous, but that's who Hashem's sending us. And if we're able to be humble enough and listen, then we're able to do tshuva. Then all
So
this.
if you look at Rav Chaim Kanievsky's Alav Shlom's Hakdama, he wrote a book of Musad, and he says that every generation has to write a book of Musad because every generation gets a gadol that's worthy of the generation. It's all about the generation. By the way, everyone that's a gadol in that generation is from Dor HaMidbar.
Because one of
Oh, you know him? That's so nice.
Because
That's
one
awesome.
of the things of Sefirah, it teaches you every night a different musa, a different chassidus, a different midah, a different pagam that you need to fix. So tonight, Tiferes Shabbat the 10th night of Sefirah, the 10th day of Sefirah. So there's a certain hashpah that everything you hear that day. So like, it would make sense. The Tiferes, the beauty of Gevurah, like of being able to do tshuva b'yira, tshuva b'ahava. This is the time. I'm saying there's a
It is.
divine
So
providence.
we're learning here a few things. Number one, look, you want to have good intentions, it's great, okay? But don't dumb it down. Don't stop it just by having good intentions. Because it's a double-edged sword. Good intentions sometimes can go further than anything that anyone's able to do. It's amazing, by the way. But at the same time, you have a structure. And you have to try to keep the structure. What's the structure? That you have to try and make teshuvah from ahava. If you make teshuvah from yirah, then okay, you're gonna have Yom Kippur. Okay, it's gonna be mechaper. If it's not, if you can have ahava, you don't have to worry about Yom Kippur. It's gonna be good. We learned there's a difference between mitzvat aseh, mitzvat lo ta'aseh, karet, and hilul Hashem. Remember?
Yeah.
Mitzvat aseh. If I make a mistake, if I forget to put the tefillin on one day, so I say what? So I'm sorry. Okay, it says in the Gemara, it's like a blink of an eye. It's like off your record. It's like delete. Control Z. Okay, it's on. It's out. Mitzvah lo ta'aseh. You need Yom Kippur. You need Teshuvah and you need Yom Kippur. Karet, God forbid, you need Teshuvah, you need Yisurin, and you need Yom Kippur. Okay, you need Hilul Hashem, God forbid, is you need those three things plus mitah, plus death, God forbid. Okay, we also learned that the difference between we said Yirah and Ahava, right? The Yirah you have to wait for Kippur, and Ahava is instant, right? Where I made a side point that Teshuvah from Ahava is similar to Teshuvah from Mitzvat Aseh. Like as the Gemara says, it happens right away. So Teshuvah from Ahava, you don't have to wait for Yom Kippur. And you don't get Yisurin, and you don't have to worry about Mitah. Because it's so much love, that I love you, it's fine. You forget about everything. Okay?
What exactly extrapolate that? All the way through Karet and Chilul Hashem? If it's a real
Ahava, yes. Ahava
all
is
the way through.
all the way through. All the way through.
Okay.
Now, by the way, the higher the sin, don't be so excited, right? Because the higher the sin, the heavier the weight. You understand? The more ahava you're gonna need. So, and by the way, the Hatam Sofer says, what is Gehinam? This whole concept of fire and pitchforks is not a Jewish concept. Okay, it's a goy. A mustard seed cannot survive in Olam Haba. What makes you think there's fire? It's not real fire. It's just because we understand fire is not good. The one time, like, no mustard in heaven. my wife told me one of my kids was going next to a fire, went to the stove, and she goes, "Stop! Don't let it touch it. Don't worry. She'll touch it one time. She'll never touch it again." You learn. So that's why we talk about fire because that's what we understand. The Hatam Sofer explains that what is Gehinam? Gehinam is sitting in a room alone and knowing the true emet, and knowing how you messed it up. And the regret There's no regret of Olam Hazeh could compare to the regret of Olam Haba.
Maybe your muscle. So if Shimshon fall
Hirsch.
white.